back room, you're just there endlessly for no reason and you can't leave.
And is it quiet?
Ominously so. It's when it's like after hours, you know.
Yeah, the flickering lights.
Yeah, everything's
Humming.
you know, you're the last person in the office, but you never were able to leave.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound that bad. I mean,
That's because you've got a kid.
yeah, it's because I've got a 1-year-old. I mean, it sounds quiet. It doesn't seem like there are any kids there. I think I could get 8 hours sleep. Yeah, that doesn't sound that bad. Where is the bathroom?
Hello! Welcome to Believe. I'm Phil Green.
And I'm David Ferguson.
And this is a podcast all about the world's craziest myths, mysteries, conspiracy theories, and secret back passages.
Yes.
This is a podcast all about the world's craziest myths and conspiracy theories. In each episode, we bring on a guest. That guest has picked a myth or conspiracy they want to talk about. It might be something they believe. It might be something they don't believe. It might just be something they need to get their head around. And it is mind-bending. And we're here to straighten that bend, aren't
Oh,
we?
well, I don't know about straighten.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've a wee bit of experience, you know, in my younger days. I've experienced backrooms. Yeah, definitely.
If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a little 5-star review, whether you are on Apple, whether you are on Spotify, or whether you are on, what's the other one? Amazon, that's the one. Go on there, give us 5 stars, tell us that you love us, we'd appreciate it, wouldn't we?
Yes, because we want to expand.
Now, I am doing a little tour of my latest show. It is called A Broken Man's Guide to Fixing Others. I've done most of the dates now, but there are a few left. I'm going to be at Glasgow, Southampton, Stratford-upon-Avon and Sudbury. So please come along. It would be lovely to see you. Tickets are available at philgreencomedy.com, or there is a link in our show notes.
Yes. And I will be doing more shows. I just haven't booked them yet.
That's true. There will be a link in our show notes for those as and when they come up. Lucky people. Now, George, we've taken him out of his little room.
We have. He got a haircut. He's been to the doggy groomers.
He did. He looks amazing, doesn't he?
He really does.
Really sexy.
He's a handsome boy.
He's a handsome boy. Absolutely. And who is today's fabulous guest?
Today's fabulous guest is Toussaint Douglass.
Yes, the wonderful Toussaint Douglass. Toussaint is an award-winning comedian and writer. He has appeared on Comedians Giving Lectures, the stand-up sketch show, Late Night Mash, Richard Osman's House of Games, and The Outsiders. In 2025, he made his Edinburgh Festival Fringe debut with the critically acclaimed Accessible Pigeon Material. That is the name of the show, which was nominated for an Edinburgh Comedy Award.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
And it was about pigeons, and I like pigeons.
It was about pigeons,
Yeah.
yes. And that show is also going to be coming to Soho Theatre in March. There'll be a ticket in our show notes for that as well.
Check it out.
And what is the myth or conspiracy that Toussaint has chosen?
Well, it's a bit of a weird one because it's backrooms are real, and backrooms are real. And am I just going to be talking about my experience with backrooms?
What is your experience with backrooms?
Well, it's it's the back area of a gay venue, and
you have researched the wrong backrooms.
You mean I brought poppers?
I did wonder what the poppers were doing on the table.
For no reason.
Yeah.
But
let's see how this goes.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
It's an urban legend.
Like, if they're actually spraying something in the sky?
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Toussaint Douglass!
Okay, cool.
You weren't ready for that, were you?
Nah, that came from nowhere.
He was drinking his tea, sitting there just quietly chilling.
we disturbed you.
We did, yeah. How are you, man?
I'm better for that. Gosh,
Yeah.
that should be just everyone should get to receive that at least once in their life. You know what I
Well,
mean?
each guest does at least once, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was just pure. You know, it was joyous.
We think some people come on for the wake-up call.
Yeah,
Because I think it transcends not just here, just life. Generally.
Yeah, I'm awake.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to be buzzing.
I'm ready to receive.
That's good, man. I didn't realize you live so close as well. That's handy.
Yeah. Well, are we disclosing? Do you disclose the location of your conspiracy podcast?
You're close to the studio. We don't need to say where the studio is.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Have you ever? Surely you can't say where the studio is because you don't know who could be.
We don't know who's listening. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right.
Obviously, you want them to listen, but you don't want them to.
We want to get the truth out there. We don't
Yeah.
want to stop. We don't want people stopping us getting the truth out.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So if they know
yeah.
where this is.
It's a really tricky line.
it's a
you know?
balancing act.
You got to get the truth out there, but ambiguously enough.
Yeah,
not to-
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's why you had to sign so many NDAs on the way in.
Yeah. That's why there were so many buzzers just on the front door,
right.
just to throw you. There's about four buzzers.
How
It's the one
badly-
on the left. Like which one?
Yeah.
There's
How
like
ba-
one from each decade.
Yes.
Going from Panasonic to a Ring one,
Yeah.
and none of them worked. So
None
it
of
was
them
like
worked,
this
yeah.
is a classic conspiracy
Exactly.
podcast.
We just want to
to
see how badly you want to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. If you how badly do you want it, Toussaint?
You should see the people we turned away.
They just get frustrated.
Yeah, exactly. We know they can't be trusted. So it's fine. So you're touring your show, or you're bringing your show back?
Yeah, bringing accessible pigeon material
Yeah.
back. No one's asked for it to be brought back. We're bringing it back, baby.
The pigeon lovers have.
Yeah, the pigeon lovers.
have.
Yeah,
It's a great name for a show.
it's
Like,
a good name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does its job. Yeah. You're like,
how much of it is about pigeons?
you'll have to come and see the show.
And we are coming to see the show.
That's why 90% of people come to the show. But is he going to talk about pigeons for an hour though? I'm going to find out, friends.
Do you get pigeon lovers coming? Is that
Oh, 100%. It's one of the most joyous things about doing the show now. You get proper pidge heads. Like proper
Is that what
like,
they're called?
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm hoping it catches on. Literally the other, because this will be the third run end of March, but the one we just finished, the guy came up to me afterwards and he said, and this is no word of like, this is his exact words, I am doing a funded PhD. I repeat this, a funded PhD in pigeons.
Wow.
On pigeons. I'm doing a funded. Someone is paying this man to do a PhD on pigeons in London, and he came to the show as research.
Yes.
My show could well be cited in a funded PhD on pigeons, and I was like, "This is what a world we're living in."
I think
what
that's
joy.
because you've had to research. I assume you've had to research for your own show.
Yeah,
And
a
he's
lot of
come to your-
sitting on park benches staring at pigeons. Yeah, research. Yeah,
That's fine. You're a comedian. You've got a lot of time in the day. So fair enough. So he's basically piggybacking off your research.
he's piggybacking off my
You
research.
need a credit there, man.
I
Can't be
need a
having that.
citation.
You
massively.
really do.
I love pigeons. They get such a bad rap. They really
do
really
get a
do.
bad rap.
You know, the reason they're in the cities is because they were our form of communication, and then like 1910, we just let go of them and went fuck you, and we've abandoned them, and they stick around. I love pigeons. I love the sound of pigeons. I think they're beautiful. They're little iridescent necks. When you get the ones that are kind of white or kind of brown, or I love pigeons. The ones that are all naggly, you know, their feet are all damaged and everything because they've tried to, and they've survived. I love pigeons. I'm a
I feel
big
like
fan.
you want to
of
fuck a pigeon.
I don't want to fuck a pigeon because
Yeah, why'd you have to take it there?
Look, you-
Why'd you-
look,
this
you
is a
bought a bottle of
pure,
Poppas
this is
for this
pure
episode.
innocent love.
Sorry, yeah, right.
Toussaint gets me.
Who do you think knows more about pigeons, you or the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2?
Oh,
Brenda Fricker.
I thought you were going to say David for a second. Easily the pigeon lady.
Okay.
Yeah. She lives and breathes it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was the OG pigeon,
Yeah.
pigeon.
Yeah, she's
for
24/7
sure.
pigeon.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just sort of part-time pigeon.
I'm
dude.
just kind of a hobbyist.
Yeah.
I'm just, in it for the love, not the sport. You know what I mean?
Get it. I do think that's a lovely thing when you get people who are genuinely passionate about something coming to a show.
100%. And when I first started, I could never have conceived of it, and I'm quite introverted. And, when you're an introvert, I always felt like you're kind of like one of one, you know what I mean? Like, and it's obviously everything now is so kind of tribal and like, who's your group? What's your, who you're part of? And I never felt a part of anything. And then, this whole kind of actually, so many people have come to show who love pigeons going, oh, these are kind of my people.
Yeah.
The people who are like openly, outwardly express love for pigeons. Like it does, they're like, they're my people.
That's
They're,
nice.
they're unusual, they're odd, but they're sweet, lovely people.
Yeah. And you work in comedy, so that's a really that's a big statement.
Very, a lot of unusual.
In a very different way. What do you think about conspiracy theories and myths and that sort of stuff?
I've got a sweet spot for them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. My nan massive into conspiracy
Really?
theories.
Your nan?
Yeah, she loves them.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely loves them.
That's
The moon one is the OG.
That her big one?
Yeah, that's a big one for
no,
her.
I need clarity here. The moon one, there's loads of
There's
different
lots of
moon
moon
ones.
ones.
So did we land in the moon? Is the moon a hologram? Is it an alien spaceship? Is it hollow? Like what is it made of cheese? What one are we talking about here?
It's not the last Wallace and Gromit one, no. Just the original one. Did we land on the moon?
Okay.
Yeah, she's big on that. I just think they're almost like kind of grown-up fairy tales to
Yeah.
me. Do you know what I mean? They're just fun things to believe in. You know, they're like they're I think the last kind of bastion, kind of outrock of like our imagination as adults. You know, it's kind of beaten out of us, isn't it? You know, the kind of oppressive capitalist system just beating out our joy de vivre. And I think conspiracy theories are just, you know, when taken, you know, lightly, I think are very fun.
And that's the key part, isn't it? When taken lightly. It's the ones.
I don't know. The Epstein files have come out, and every conspiracy theory has just been proven true.
But then they're not conspiracy anymore, is it? That's then
it's no fun.
Right. Yeah. And I think I think skepticism is healthy.
Yeah.
I think it's a healthy skepticism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're living in a time where, because things were almost so disenfranchised and so disempowered and so disillusioned, that, you know, then almost the skepticism kind of veers into you know, really wild terrain, right? Because you feel like you don't trust anything almost. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I think when we can just pull back a little bit.
Why do you think your nan believes? Because like it's interesting that an older generation, I think, because they're generally not uniquely, but slightly more conformist often because the generation they grew up in, right? So they sort of believe what they were told, and that was it. There wasn't like a barrage of information coming at them like the internet like we had. So that generation is less likely statistically to be skeptical. So it's really interesting that your nan believes.
So I think that your take is really interesting because it totally makes sense, but that, you know, I think with the caveat is that my nan is an immigrant, right?
Right.
So like actually like she's always been on the outside looking in,
Yeah.
right? In terms of she was Windrush generation,
Right.
okay? She came from the Caribbean in the 50s, and so her experience has always been one of kind of the othered almost in that kind of respect.
Outsider's point of view.
Yeah, outsider's point of view, right? And also knowing things that others just don't seem to know. And so she said she knew more about the British than the British did when she came in. In terms of
no doubt.
At that point, you know, people just weren't aware of their own history or their own kind of what they had done and stuff like that. But she was obviously, it was being done to her in her home. So she was, you know what I mean? So she's always had that kind of questioning, kind of skepticism of kind of authority and establishment and power structures and stuff like that. And then she found YouTube, and then it just went to a whole new level. When we got on a laptop, my God, I've never seen the algorithm work so effectively on someone as like that. To the point where we had to hold a family intervention because like, nah, look, you know, like we've got to pull back a bit. We've got to restrict the YouTube hours because she was just on there so much. Like, it was so,
don't give old people too much tech.
Yeah. It was
dangerous.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah.
Backrooms. Now, not your sort of backrooms.
Not my sort of backrooms.
Different sort of backrooms.
I studied for the wrong thing.
Studied for the wrong backrooms. But fortunately, you do know about these type of backrooms.
Oh, yeah, but only incidentally. Like, I didn't read the research.
Can I say, the word backrooms is funny.
But yeah, it's just...
It's innately funny.
It's funny. What were your backrooms?
Oh, you sweet straight people. So backrooms in a more LGBT content are basically dark rooms in the back of a pub or club or where you get up to mischief.
Is that what? That's why I chose this. Are we not doing that?
That's not what we're doing.
Unbelievable. I'm so disappointed. I wore my best tracksuit. Yeah, I thought I was going to get some. Unbelievably disappointed now, to be honest.
For those listening on the audio, Toussaint is wearing a very colourful top.
I'm peacocking out. I thought we were going to the back room. We're going to need to stand out.
Well, we do still have the bottle of poppers, so
we do.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So a back room is not a literal storage room or staff-only area. It refers to a theoretical lineal space, an in-between environment that exists outside normal reality as we experience it. So it's a place meant for transition, not for living or staying, like hallways, offices after hours, waiting rooms, but stretched into something endless and purposeless. In the backrooms concept, these spaces lose their destination. You're no longer on your way somewhere. So it's kind of like purgatory, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's an existential back room.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still a back room.
It's still a back room.
It sounds like a back room, but it's just the back room for the universe.
Yes.
It's the universe's back
It's the
room.
universe's back room.
Basement of reality.
This is the most mundane conspiracy. This episode, if you need to catch up on your sleep, this would be the episode to do it. This sounds like the most, I've picked horribly here. This is such a mundane
You'll
conspiracy.
be
So
surprised.
it's a back room. It's a storage room.
Yeah.
for the universe. What's the conspiracy?
So people believe that these exist, right?
Okay,
and
but
people have experienced
What's
slipping.
the jeopardy here for existing? I'm struggling to see
Get
what are
in
the
lo-
stakes
that we could
of there
all-
just being a backroom.
I love your storytelling mindset. Where's the jeopardy? The idea that we could slip into them at any time,
And not-
or someone could slip through from them into our world.
How would one do that?
Good question.
Wow. In many different ways.
Okay. Does any of them involve poppers? I feel like you're going to.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Altered state and whatever. Like the we've talked on this podcast before about time slips going to different times. It's kind of like that, shifting realities.
Yeah.
You know, I had a very weird thing happen to me. I didn't tell you this last time. I get off at London Bridge to make my journey here. And I normally go to the same spot to get the tube, to Northern Line tube to London Bridge. And I got out, and this was the last time, and I was at a completely other end of the tube, and I went, but I got on at the same thing. I went, did I misremember? No, I walked, because I'm all about getting my steps in, you know, and I was like, I ended up at completely the other end, and it freaked me out. And then we had to do the podcast, so it wasn't irrelevant, but now it is. So, but that was the last time, not this time. I should have just said it and said, it just happened to me, but it didn't. So I feel like I slipped into the back rooms a little bit there.
Yeah, you walked in London Bridge Station.
No, so I got on the tube and I got to the same part so that I get the same exit. And I
Right.
do that every time because we've done a few of these podcasts, so it's like it's automatic. That I get confused.
You get on. You knew you got on. at
Yeah,
that point.
but I was at the completely different exit.
Yeah.
And because the completely different exit actually adds about 4 minutes of journey time. So it's like, how am I at this one? I know this is not the right one.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I definitely went. So
you might have slipped out.
yeah, or it's just I'm having seizures at the moment. Probably that.
Ever felt that, or ever?
That does sound like you should go to a doctor. Yeah,
Oh, no, the doctor knows. The doctor knows.
He's on enough meds as it is. Have you ever sort of, I'm not deja vu as such, but you've been somewhere when in your mind you've never been somewhere before, but it feels like you've been there before?
Yeah, I mean, every play group I go to. I don't know if that's the backroom theory or they're just all the same and they all sing the same nursery rhymes and it's the same kind of person, like kind of went to drama school, hasn't made it, now like this is their thing. Do you know what I mean?
Good
like,
money in that though.
They're stealing a living.
Yeah,
It's mad. The babies don't care. My baby's off doing whatever. So we're the audience. The adults are the ones singing along to the nursery rhymes. The adults ones giving them their validation. These nursery performers.
This is getting to you, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe the backrooms are real.
Imagine if they are just full of children singing nursery rhymes. That would be hell.
But that's scary. That's
For
scary.
eternity. It would be.
Scary. Like I don't have any kids. Whenever I hear children singing, it's not joyous because it's always I'm outside like walking past a school and it's it becomes all it's creepy. I'm gonna die.
So it does have a quite kind of 1970s B movie horror film. Like,
Exactly.
Like, when children sing.
Yeah. So it's just basically there are a place without narrative. So why you're there and what you're supposed to do and when you'll leave. So normally in any room, any scenario in life, you know those things. In a back room, you don't have any of that. So you're just there endlessly for no reason, and you don't know, and you can't leave.
Yeah.
Kind of like the waiting room in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That basically.
But are you there on your own?
I don't think you travel through with anyone.
Yeah.
There might be others there,
Okay.
but I don't believe that you travel through with anyone.
And is it quiet?
Ominously so. It's it's like after hours,
the flickering lights.
Yeah, everything's
Humming.
You're the last person in the office, but
Yeah.
you never leave. You're never able to leave.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound that bad. I mean,
That's because you've got a kid.
yeah, it's because I've got a 1-year-old. I mean, it sounds quiet. Doesn't seem like there are any kids there. I think I could get 8 hours sleep. Yeah, that doesn't sound that bad. Where is the back room? Back room here.
That genuine wall we've got behind us, yeah. Within the theory, a backroom is created when reality fails to resolve correctly, like unused geometry in a video game or corrupted data in a system. It's not designed for humans, which is why being there feels wrong, isolating, or uncanny.
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
So if it's not designed for humans, why would it be there?
There's other things.
Yeah, we're not. Come on,
you're right.
Christ. But there's the whole world out there, the whole universe.
You're right.
out there.
You're right. I should be questioning more. Harry just knocked on the fake wall behind us.
Well, this wall is fake.
Reality is fake. We are in a simulation.
So on a psychological and existential mirror, on a symbolic level, backrooms represent disconnection, bureaucratic or corporate emptiness, feeling trapped in systems with no clear purpose, moments of disassociation or detachment from self.
Is that your diagnosis?
This is the internet's diagnosis of it.
Okay.
I'm not here to give a diagnosis. I'm not an expert, but that's the general consensus of what they are.
That's kind of where it sprung from sociologically,
Yeah,
right? It's a reflection of kind of our general feeling of a lot of time not having purpose.
Yes.
Like, there's so many kind of non-jobs, isn't it? Podcasting.
How dare you?
But there is that kind of so many kind of where it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You ever had that? Like, do you know?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I had it.
We're all
literally
comedians here.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. You wake up, especially in comedy. You're right. Like, you wake up and you go, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what, when you've done it for a certain enough. We've all done it for a certain enough point now where you're just like, but what actually am I like? What have I done? What am I doing? Like, what am I going to do? Like,
But it's also like, what is the point of this?
Yes.
Because initially the point is I want to be a comedian, and then you are a comedian, and then you're like, now what's the point of this?
Right.
Right.
And I think we're all, so much of kind of society is focused on like, it's so goal orientated,
Yes.
isn't it? So almost in a way you can never, it's really hard to kind of just be present.
Yes.
And just be kind of, just live in the like, just appreciative of just living. You're always like, but what's this? What's the next thing? What do I do?
What's the hustle? What's the angle?
And like, it feels like the backroom thing. Maybe is a kind of an offshoot of that, or maybe like a sort of reflection on the emptiness of a lot of kind of what life has become, being work orientated, and also kind of perhaps a longing, maybe a little bit, kind of just having just an empty space, just to decompress and like just to like go, oh, there's nothing here, great, no distractions.
Well, that's the thing, because
it doesn't sound that bad to me.
That's
Genuinely,
right.
I'm not even joking. It literally doesn't sound that bad.
Because when it's depicted in popular culture, we are going to go into that. It is often depicted as like a negative thing, like often it's in horror, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're right. There may be a comfort in not having to have purpose, right?
Yeah, there's comfort in oblivion.
Yeah.
And comfort in just doing nothing. Bed rotting. That's always good. Or just sitting there. I love sitting on a park bench looking at the pigeons. But I'm not really looking at the pigeons. I'm looking into me. But the opting out.
Maybe that's where the pigeon watching came from.
Maybe it's that's the back room. All pigeons are back rooms.
Imagine you're trapped in a back room with a fuckload of pigeons. Imagine the shit. Jesus. So it's not one place, but it's a category of places. A back room isn't a single room. It's a type of space. Endless offices, identical corridors, humming lights, stained carpet, no windows. Each room follows the same logic, familiar structure, and zero meaning. So what is interesting about this is that whenever anyone describes one, or anyone who feels that they've experienced it, or that is the consistency of this is how they describe it, and those are the features which are consistent in accounts of backrooms. Hence why when they're depicted in movies or TV shows or books, that's kind of how they're described.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that is just simply like a reflection of the emptiness of office life that we've all sort of maybe touched on, had some
but
experience
also like do they get like kind of updated, the back rooms? Because like office culture has changed quite a lot.
It has, yeah.
We're on WeWork now, it's
Yeah,
open
you're
plan.
right.
They got a pub.
Yeah.
Pub.
Is there- is-
the
I know what you mean.
beer,
Yeah, beer keg, yeah.
the beer,
Is there a
doing all that.
foosball
Yeah, is there
table?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, foosball table. Because then again,
Yeah. In which case, you wouldn't mind it again. You wouldn't mind it, would you? It's kind of nice.
So
the solution to backrooms is to become more like backrooms.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. But it actually is true that the image of the back room actually hasn't fundamentally changed over decades. As in, like you talk about the 1970s kind of horror film esque aesthetic. Even when it's depicted now in the modern era, that's still the aesthetic, largely.
There are no plants.
No plants.
Yeah,
It's
no
just
plants.
empty rooms, no fun. Like these genuine plants we've got behind us. There's just buzzing lights and a humming.
Yeah.
And nothing, no furniture, nothing.
Yeah. There might be a water cooler. We don't know.
Maybe.
Potentially.
It
could be. Yeah.
very vanilla color scheme.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's also situations with the back rooms are like abandoned malls or an abandoned fairground, as in an indoor fairground, you know, like the one you see in Terminator 2. But yeah, they're just things being turned off and stopped.
Yeah.
They're not functional. The back rooms, you walk through them to get to somewhere else, you know.
But then it's
maybe
where,
shouldn't be there.
Yes.
You know, so
Well, that is the fundamental thing, is that the theory is that you shouldn't be there, and yet you've somehow fallen into it.
I mean, that's happened. I've been backstage at gigs. You know, and
You're
I shouldn't
allowed to be there. You're a comedian. That's where you're meant to
not
be.
always.
not always.
As
I
in-
walk. What comedian was it? I went to see in the Soho Theatre, and I walked through the wrong door. You know, in the Soho Theatre, there's the middle stage.
Yeah.
I went to see Julia Masley.
Okay.
And I went through the
she's
wrong
awesome.
door, and I was backstage. Went, oh fuck, I'm not in the right place.
Oh, you don't want to end up backstage at that show.
Yeah.
You'd be involved in the show.
Yeah. Well,
Toussaint show.
I ended up being involved in the show, but that was a whole other separate thing.
Nice.
Do you have much stage involved? Audience participation in your show?
There's little bits, yeah, but it's very friendly.
Has anyone ever corrected you on a pigeon fact?
Oh yeah.
Really?
That we had one in the Edinburgh run, and blessed, like so lovely. This person, really lovely.
Yeah.
But like the Edinburgh, it was a debut room, right? So they were the ones. We were Pleasance, but we were Pleasance Courtyard adjacent. So like the ones outside of the
Okay,
courtyard,
yeah.
the cellars,
bunkers?
the
The
bunkers,
bunkers,
right?
yeah,
and they
yeah.
actually were just bunkers.
They are bunkers.
These were just like if there was bombing, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like they were things. So it was like a.
Not if the bombing's inside. Whoa. No.
Which obviously wouldn't have happened to you.
Yeah, it never happened.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like 70 odd max kind of thing. So you could see everyone, very nice, intimate. There were just two banks of like rows in front of me. Okay, there's this woman on the second front row, and just had her hand up like from like minute 4 probably. Like minute 4, just hand straight up. It just did not go down. Just minute 4, hand straight up. I had like that day I think it was almost like 7 reviewers, because it was something had happened in the Pleasance. It was the storm. There was like some storm.
Oh,
so
I
there was some
remember this.
storm.
I
Yeah.
remember this.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
shut
yeah.
the Pleasance Courtyard
Yeah.
down, but not my show. So every other show, they were like, "Nah, it's too dangerous for you to come out." Chloe Pets, or you're too, but Toussaint, you
pigeon
can,
lovers.
you can go, you can go out in the hurricane. So for some reason, my show was on. So all these reviews had nothing to do. So they just came. They weren't going to come to my show. They just came to my show. So I could see all these reviewers. I was like, I cannot engage with this woman. I just can't do it. I can't take that risk. I know, I just know that I just know it'll go somewhere.
You don't know it's going to open up.
I just know it will open up,
Yeah.
but I can't take that. I just can't make that calculation. So I had to just pretend I just did not see this clear hand in the air the whole time. Also, before that, so I have this bit where there is some kind of engagement with a pigeon.
Right.
We've got a pigeon in the show, and one person normally comes up to feed the pigeon.
Okay.
She bounded over, and there was already a person on the stage and brought her own bread. We haven't
commitment.
had her own
That's
pigeon
commitment.
feed, and I was just like, "This is wow. Okay, this is real." Okay, after the show, so I really like the show. I did just have some kind of corrections on. So this is what you're saying, and there was this one bit in the show where I talk about pigeons in World War II.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Absolutely, you're right, Dave. Absolute heroes. And I have this. I talk about, I kind of lightly joke about, pigeons having PTSD and and there's this whole big kind. It's very, very fun, very joyful, very funny. And then as she goes, look, pigeons did have PTSD, but actually they wouldn't be doing what you said they'd be doing. They'd actually be really still and very depressed, and they wouldn't be moving at all, and I'd be like, okay, I'm probably not going to include that because it's
not funny.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't think I can work with that at all, to be honest. Anyway,
I love it. If you took enough audience feedback, they eventually no longer becomes a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's just a factual show.
Do you know what you did to the pigeons in World War II?
Yeah. So like, but yeah, she came all the way from New York, not just for the show, obviously, but she was part of a pigeon rescue
When I
group in New York.
retelling the story, I would say she came all the way.
Yeah, she came.
She came to see the show.
Yeah.
Loved the show. So but lovely, just really lovely person. And that kind of passionate people come to the show. So
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful thing. So, the theory that backrooms are real occupies a peculiar space between urban legend, digital folklore, and speculative metaphysics. It does not claim reality in the conventional sense, like you were saying. So, no latitude and longitude, no property deeds or satellite images, but instead proposes a structural reality in that backrooms exist as a byproduct of the universe, a hidden layer formed where systems, spaces, or perceptions misalign. To take that theory seriously is not to insist that you can drive there, but to entertain the possibility that reality has seams and that sometimes something slips through.
Yeah. Subspace.
Subspace. Exactly.
Subspace.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
This the layer of reality underneath reality
Right.
at the subatomic level.
Is that like cheaper to rent? Is that like,
Well,
is it like
When you
is
live in
it more
London.
affordable? Like what are we talking about? How much can you get for your money?
you know.
It sounded quite good.
Well, it would be quite nice to have. I've got quite a large collection of things, and it would be nice to store them in a
sub room.
sub room. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're thinking of backrooms as storage space?
Well, now I am.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of that because I was only like backrooms. Oh, don't like them. But you were like, oh, that sounds good. You know, chill out.
Yeah.
Maybe chill. You know, like if there's a watercolor, that'll be fine.
Yeah, it was just where you can put all the stuff that like you get into something, and like one summer I got into trampolining, and now I've just got a trampoline. Like,
You've got a trampoline?
yeah, but I could do with putting it in a back room for sure. It takes up quite a lot of space. Do you know what I mean? Like it's good for a summer, but it's not a winter thing.
Yeah, that is
trampolining.
very true.
Do you know what I mean? Like trampolining, toasty maker. Just don't need that anymore.
No.
You know, that's very student. You know what I mean? Like it's,
Very student.
Yeah.
They're quite different in scale, those two things. But
but still could just put it in the back room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm liking this.
So you're on board with these back rooms?
What's the negative? I'm still not quite clear what's the downside of having this. It sounds like
the downside is if you
Yeah.
slip into it,
Yeah.
you got nowhere to go and no
Okay.
purpose, and
Might not get out.
but you might not get out. Yeah, because there's no exit.
There's no exit.
No.
So how has anyone found out about it?
Some people do get out.
Some people.
You know,
Okay.
they do find a way. Or
Some people slip through.
some, you know,
I feel like I'm not gonna lie, guys. The conspiracy theory community. I feel like you spent less time working on this one.
I mean,
The conspiracy theorists, not you guys, but the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Less time
Blame them,
on
not us.
the back room
Well-
theory as opposed to other. I feel like other ones have had a lot more shine,
Susan,
a
if
lot
you think
more
that is
investment.
exclusive to this conspiracy, let me tell you, not the case. Not all of them. I mean, even the moon landing one, I know your nine's into it, but trust me, it's not that well thought through when you look into it.
But at least that had like, is the flag moving? You know what I mean? That had a little bit like you could look at something like, it looks like the flag's moving there, and like, and Nan would go like, yeah, I think you might be right, Nan.
well, the thing about this conspiracy, it's just the shape of it as it is now. The idea that you could slip into another realm or another place. There's time slips. We talk about that. It's just the nature of it. Like the idea that it used to be the Fae folk that would kidnap you as a child, and now that's alien abduction. You know, things have moved on. The idea that you're in an unknown in a liminal space, an unknown space, and it looks like an office from the 70s. You know, and I mean that goes into like there are places where you knock down a door and suddenly you're in a backspace. You know, it's for example the Selfridges on Oxford Street. So there's a street underneath there.
Yeah.
With shops and everything, and that sort of I mean, what if you? I worked in Selfridges when I first moved to London, and I remember looking through a door in one of the storerooms, going, you could see it. You know, it's in there. You know, that was an actual street. Now, why there's a building on top of a street, I do not know, but it sort of explains the back rooms. Why couldn't there be like back rooms on reality? you know.
Yeah.
It's this idea of getting lost and not finding your way home. I mean, that's what Alice in Wonderland's about, or Alice in Through the Looking Glass.
It is, yeah.
You know, the idea isn't just the Backrooms, which was like a YouTube channel in 1996.
Yeah.
It's all existed before. So
this does go back a long way. So whilst we're sort of building an image of it, it's been like a 70s style office and all that sort of stuff. Actually, the concept goes back a long, long way.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about Alice in Wonderland, she's going through office space, you know, like and the maze and the gardens and whatever. So I realize I've taken all the fun out of the room, but
that's really interesting,
because the back rooms I'm interested in aren't what we're talking about. So
but in fairness, like you, Alice does drink some pretty shit before
she's on the poppers.
But you don't drink poppers. You don't drink. But there was an article once about poppers. Someone drinking it, going, "What? It's like
liquid poppers."
Yeah, no.
Would it still work?
It would hurt. It would no. It would burn you. Like it's a chemical. It's a chemical burn. Like you got to be very careful, especially the formula that's legal in the UK. Don't do poppers. Although they used to be my favorite thing. I used to love them, but you can't get.
For those not watching, David's looking off into the mid-distance, reminiscing. They used to be my favorite thing. He's going to the back room now in his head.
The simplicity of my younger days.
So examples of backrooms in popular culture. There's a lot of these, right? So The Shining. Yeah. In a very classic example of one. So the Overlook Hotel behaves like a backroom long before it turns violent. So endless, identical hallways, impossible layout, and spaces that feel aware but indifferent. The hotel exists outside normal time and logic.
Yeah.
A tesseract.
Yeah. I stayed in I think it was a travel lodge in Manchester for a gig, and that felt like a backroom. That was pretty grim, to be fair. I wouldn't want a travel lodge backroom. I'd want to say,
You want it to be at least Premier Inn.
Yeah, at least Premier Inn. Yeah. Unlimited breakfast, as long as Lenny's not there, no.
But yeah, I mean, The Shining, because it does a really good job of kind of painting this, isn't it? And we did a Patreon episode on the actual making of The Shining and all of the theories. There's loads of like conspiracy theories just related to The Shining itself. But one of them is the impossible layout of the hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, when the very famous scene where Jack is getting interviewed for the job, and they're in the hotel office, and there's no way that room can exist the way that it does, and you clock that as you watch the movie and go, why is there a window that's out? You know, it's looking outside when there's no way that there could be, and that's one of the reasons that The Shining is so unnerving. You know. You're moving around, but it's also Kubrick and a masterpiece. You know,
but that particular scene is quite clever because that's so subtle that like you wouldn't consciously
you'd
have to revisit it loads of times and read forums to even know about that. So I mean, I've always wondered whether that was actually intentional in the first place. But
you'd have to actually be in a back room to have the time to.
There you go.
Yeah. For the backroom viewers.
Maybe that's where Kubrick comes from.
Maybe.
I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Kubrick revisits that with Eyes Wide Shut.
The
sort of rooms, leading.
It has got that feel, hasn't it?
Yeah, and Barry Lyndon as well, which is a masterpiece. But there is the opulent world that he moves into. It's suddenly endless. There's room upon room upon room. So
is that the one with Tom Cruise?
No, Eyes Wide Shut's Tom Cruise. Barry Lyndon is with Ryan O'Neal, an actor of very limited ability that's in like 10 great movies. Well, 3.
Severance, to give a very modern example of this. Have you seen Severance?
Absolutely ripping off this backroom thing.
Very much so, exactly. In fact, I think this probably delves into it more than anything else, really, in terms of like the feel of it. So, Lumen Industries office floors are corporate backrooms perfected, windowless, sterile, looping corridors where purpose is obscured and identity fractures. It's one of the most modern and accurate depictions.
Yeah. Are you being put to work over something that you're not aware of?
Yeah.
Are you fully conscious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a bleakness that it really can. And because what's interesting, because a lot of this comes from like the visualization of this in pop culture comes from dream states. So the people who have either believed they've gone into it or dreamt they've gone into it. But it is that look has come from that. So it's the way that's been articulated by those people that's funny.
Is that lucid dreaming?
Possibly, yeah.
What
And that
is
is a theory behind it.
I've heard people keep talking about this lucid dreaming. Is that dreaming when you're awake?
No, that's a waking dream. A lucid dreaming is you go to sleep and you're aware of you're consciously aware in the dream that you have. So there's a comedian called David Green. Talks about this quite a bit. He's a lucid dreamer now. That's what he is now. But the idea of lucid dreaming, that you can kick yourself into gear to do it. I've had lucid dreams in my life, but one of the things that you can do is you turn around and just right now, am I awake? Am I awake? So right now I am awake as I'm doing this podcast. Or are you? Or am I? But in the dream world, if you get into the habit of saying, am I awake? You realize, oh, I'm not awake. And then the dream becomes something. But and you can control it. You can control your dreams.
Right. But how can you tell you're not awake just from saying, am I awake?
Because you are asking your question, it would activate that part of your brain. Because once you're asleep, there's chemicals that make you go to, body chemistry that makes you go to sleep. So you can be asleep. But then, I've had lucid dreams and I've had discussions with entities. Have I told you about my dream with the goddess Hestia?
No.
Oh yeah, I had a dream where I spoke to the goddess Hestia.
What's she a goddess of?
Goddess of hearth and home, and she actually gives up her space in the Greek pantheon for Hercules to take the space. Oh, cool. She's a very humble goddess, but I had a dream about talking to her.
She doesn't sound like one of the most fun ones.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And here's the weird thing.
Very nice.
She was lovely. She was lovely.
Really cool.
But it's kind of like the goddess of Ikea.
yeah, like absolutely. Like there's actually a whole thing. There's actually a whole thing that Ikea is worship of the goddess Hestia. That I'm not kidding.
Do we think Ikea is a back room? Because it is very hard to get out of.
I actually went to Ikea yesterday, but the one I want is so boring. This is the most boring ad ever. I needed just some boxes, but I wanted they have these ones that have a bit of velvet on the outside.
They have the
green velvet. Yeah, I was like, I just want to juice it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Only the Hammersmith Ikea had these green velvet boxes. So I went a pilgrimage to the Hammersmith. I've never been. These new ones are so weird because they're in you're used to them being out, on a business park, or whatever. These ones are they're just in the city.
Yeah, there's one of the old Top Shop building in Oxford Circus.
Yeah. So this house one is in the shopping centre, but it spills out into the shopping centre because obviously this shopping centre is really old and it's not meant for an Ikea, which is endlessly like a back room. Yeah. So you spill. So you've got this deconstructed Ikea where they have where you have the chill out kind of steps kind of thing. That's out in the shopping centre. The hot dog stands kind of in the shopping centre corridor. It's really weird. And then you go into it. So it's it's almost like it was kind of I don't know, pixelated, unpixelating, fragmenting. This Ikea was kind of coming apart or something. It was so weird. But I think Ikeas are back rooms.
Yeah, really obviously you are a new parent, because that would excite a new parent.
I don't know. The advert for Ikea used to be the best day out.
My life is so. I cannot tell you, Phil, how mundane my life is.
No,
being a new parent is full of. No, you conclusively showed that.
But do you know what? Weirdly, I do know. I used to work at Hammersmith. I do know that shopping centre because it is fucking old.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't. It's not fit for an eye. They've made it work. But it doesn't work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The part of London I live in, there was.
I didn't get the boxes, by the way.
Why not?
The bottom just seemed a bit flimsy.
Oh, it's not going to hold together. Oh, see, I reinforce boxes. I do all sorts of things.
We will keep people up to date on the progress on this story. Do not worry.
Yeah. Maybe Toussaint will show us his box.
Yeah. There will be an update. Trying to move on to the next one. Twin Peaks. The Red Room is not physically endless, but it operates as a back room, a place outside reality's rules where meaning exists without explanation and time behaves incorrectly. Twin Peaks is actually a very good example, I think, of the concept of slipping in and out of the back room.
Yes.
Is it worth? I've not seen it.
Okay.
Should I watch it?
Oh my gosh! So
It's quite an investment, though, isn't it? It's quite a lot.
it's brilliant. I truly love.
I should watch it. Everything I hear about it sounds really.
It's not
good,
like a
but-
Game of Thrones investment. It's not like you're there for weeks. It's
But it's like,
It's a mood.
2
It's a
seasons
vibe.
and a film and there's one.
and then they came back. Though,
They came back, yeah, but only for like 6 episodes.
Yeah, and it all holds together. The first season's amazing. The first
Alright,
season's
I'll
really
watch it.
amazing. And but I also have the thing of I was like 12 years old when it came out, and it was just everything, and I fell so deeply in love with Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah.
And it's Who Killed Laura Palmer. I had the Secret Diary of Laura Palmer and all that. Like I love.
You were 12. It's quite sophisticated watching. I was
yeah, it was
watching Pokemon.
Don't get me wrong. I was still watching He-Man Masters of the Universe.
okay,
Do you know what I mean?
sure.
I was still watching the VHS of that, not telling my friends.
This was Northern Ireland in the 80s.
You
Whatever was
needed
on.
escapism. Yeah, just something to a back room just to escape to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was, you had to watch it when it was on. I remember
yeah.
I remember seeing one episode at my friend's house because I wasn't going to get back in time to see it. I was like, I have to watch Swimming, and we watched it on his little bedroom TV because that used to be a thing for kids. You have your own TV, and oh my god, it was just great.
But it is because it sort of, because there's a part of Twin Peaks which is very much better than reality, like a normal murder mystery, and then it slips regularly into like just a surreal, crazy world, and that's why it's so good, because it's sort of I don't think there's anything else that's quite done that in the same way. Severance. A little bit, but not to the same extent. It's weird, but in a weird way, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
When Twin Peaks happened, there was it was such a cultural icon that one of the rip-off shows was called Palm Springs, and it just didn't get it. It was just weird for the sake of weird. But there was also Baywatch Nights.
Oh yeah, I remember Baywatch Nights,
which was kind of I think it's the second season becomes like an X-Files kind of thing, but they try to Baywatch Nights is one of the greatest.
It's really good
shows ever, because
it's really good.
what do you do? Like we're losing the ratings. Like, all right, let's throw everything we can at the wall. And
Did any of the Baywatch Day people?
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson very famously didn't appear in Baywatch Nights because she.
It's mostly Mitch, isn't it?
I'm just daytime.
Yeah, at night he's a private
Yeah,
investigator.
he's solving crimes at night.
Yeah.
Is that David Hasselhoff?
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Oh, so he just reprised Knight Rider, but with a surfboard.
And then it got kind of spooky and weird. And there's one of the episodes. There's a really violent murder, and you're like, dude, like this is meant to be silly TV. You're.
Baywatch Night. But do they start on the beach still? Like, as in, like trying to.
It's set
like,
in the same.
like-
It's set in the same town.
It's a spin-off.
but they're lifeguards, so they are they still on the beach at night? Or were they-
Yeah, like Baywatch Nights, he's off
He's off
doing
duty.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't need a beach
In the
Baywatch.
Baywatch mobile.
Lifeguard pays not that high, but it's got to double up.
Yeah. Okay.
He just did he just did a lot.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean, Friends was pretty weird. Friends was pretty strange.
Friends, it can be strange, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite.
I mean, they live in pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's a back
Three
room.
rooms.
that coffee.
Yeah,
Back
2
room.
flats and 1 coffee
2
shop.
flats in a
pretty
coffee
much.
shop and a monkey.
And a monkey. Yeah.
Don't think we talked about how weird Friends is.
Friends is very weird.
Yeah.
In isolation, all those people are fine. But if you watch the whole series, the amount of things that they do, you're like, Jesus Christ, these people need help.
Yeah.
But
we just need to like see other people, hang out with other people,
absolutely.
broaden their friends.
Yeah, they're pretty tight on that, aren't they?
Well, I the conspiracy theory about Friends, that Phoebe is the pagan goddess that they're all worshipping.
I can see
I
that.
love how you start everything with and like I definitely not
no,
gonna know.
no, you just thought that.
100% not
George,
gonna.
did you know that? No, absolutely not. No one thought that.
So like
Phoebe's the pagan goddess.
yeah, and
There
they
are
all
times
worship
where
her.
we do one if he just makes this up.
No, I swear. There's a esoteric reading of Friends.
Okay.
I can imagine because it's such a big show that I can imagine there would be.
Yeah,
There will be a
and
community on the
Phoebe,
internet.
her having the 3 kids, that's the 3-headed goddess, and
Right.
Hecate or
Got you. What's Joey in this?
Joey's the fool. So if you look at the tarot card, he's the
Makes
fool,
sense.
and they all link up to stuff. It's really, really.
And Rachel's like the goddess of death or something.
Well, no, actually, it's probably Monica, but because she can't have children, whereas Rachel is referred to, even though it's a rumor, the Brad Pitt episode, she's referred to as being having both an innie and an outie, if you know what I mean. she's meant to be. Because now it would be trans, and that's offensive, but it was a joke back then. So
Okay.
but the idea of Baphomet being the both male and female, so that's Rachel. I swear to God that I'm not making any of this up. This is all.
Oh, I don't
posited.
doubt that the community that really have got themselves into this.
Yeah, but
I'm learning so much.
So Inception, dream architecture collapses into backrooms where spaces loop, stretch infinitely, or exist only to contain consciousness rather than life. This is a very good visual representation of it, actually, because the dreamlike state thing, which is, and I think this sort of lucid dream, but not quite.
Inception's a really good visual, even though it's not lucid dreaming in Inception. That's what lucid dream. The Leonardo DiCaprio character turns around to what was the Ellen Page character and says, do you never remember when a dream starts? And that's true. Like, you're just in it, you're in the flow of it. I mean, I love Inception. I really love
good
Inception.
film. But the spinning top.
Yeah, the spinning top.
So would that help with Backrooms?
No, because and that's
top?
why that scene is so brilliant, because you don't see whether it falls.
What's the answer?
What's the ansser?
Yeah,
it's never given.
Yeah.
I think it does fall. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the answer.
Cool, that's that done then. If anyone was in any doubt, is that because it wobbles a bit? Is that your...
Yeah, it wobbles. It's going to fall at some point, yes.
But weebles wobble and don't fall down. And if you're a child of the 80s, you know what that means. You have no idea. All right, correct. I am old as dirt. I don't know when that happened, but I am.
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's a very specific Northern Irish.
No, weebles were a big thing.
Okay.
I'm
still get
aware
weebles.
of it because I was a kid in the 80s, but I only aware of its existence. I don't really remember it. Yeah.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Okay.
Different podcast. Doctor Who. The TARDIS interior, especially forgotten corridors and rooms, frequently behaves like a back room, larger inside than out, semi-abandoned, and selectively accessible.
I really miss that in Doctor Who, because that used to happen in the 80s. Doctor Who, not New Who.
Yeah,
there would be parts of the TARDIS that you couldn't go into. Like, it's a bit dodgy. It all got a bit made over and shiny in the later seasons.
It does look a bit too shiny now, I think.
Yeah, and the scarves are better.
The scarves are better.
It had more loose threads. Just a bit more gritty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, with a bit.
I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to get in the game. I'm just not quite sure. I'm trying, coach. No, I like Doctor Who. We used to watch a lot of, my mum was massive into old Who.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
UK Gold.
Yeah.
We'd watch a lot of the old. It's scary as
It is
hell.
scary.
Especially as a kid. And then you look at it now and you're like, oh, that's just washing up liquid.
Yeah.
They've just poured washing up liquid down the sink, and that's like.
But I think some of the storylines back then were darker. And fun.
I think they played it quite straight. Actually, it wasn't as knowing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it wasn't as knowing. Like, this monster's made out of egg cartons, and they played it like, oh, this is terrifying, and they had the terrifying music, and actually, like, as a kid, you're so much more able to suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just sucked into it and stuff like that. And I think that's the beauty of conspiracy theories as well, because you can kind of suspend
That's exactly right,
disbelief,
yeah.
and you can get sucked into it again, and it's like fun.
Yeah.
And like, you're a bit scared, and you feel things. It's nice to feel things.
Agreed. And also, they didn't used to explain as much, so therefore it's which makes it more scary, right?
Yeah,
you don't understand.
So true.
The
There's
lack
so
of
much
understanding.
more exposition, just in general in shows. But definitely, like, a lot of the newer Who's, there's so much. They're like kind of this manic talking, and like and this one is screwed up, and like they never used to.
Here's the reason why all of this happened. You're like, you don't need to tell us.
Yeah,
It
the
can just
old
be.
dude would never do that. He'd just like, and then he'd just go off and do it.
Yeah.
He'd never like sit the whatever the apprentice down or the sidekick and like explain.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, let's just go, man.
Yeah, which is not
Coming or
a
not.
human trait to do anyway. Like, it's a weird thing to do. Just sit something down and go, here's everything. Here's the reason all of this.
And then also, he's not even human. He's
That's
like
true. That is true.
But who of us are?
Well,
Yeah.
So we haven't even got to do. We'll have to wrap it up shortly. But anyway,
How many pages are left?
oh, I've still got like 3 pages, but we're not going to go
And they're
through
like,
any of
if you
this.
can't see, if you don't watch it, these are like full length A4,
Yeah.
just all type. It feels just banging through.
Bear in mind, you
No,
said-
there's not even paragraph breaks. I can't see paragraph breaks. They're like, it's not even double line. This is single line
line.
spacing. Just full pages of text that
Remember you
feels
said at the
banging
start,
through.
oh, there's not much in this. We haven't got
Yeah.
through even half of this
Feels
stuff anyway.
Proper research.
It got lost in the back rooms.
Nicely done. That almost covers over
M-pod.
the fact that we haven't really delved into this at all. So there is a theory that the backroom reality is a glitch in the system. If reality operates like a complex simulation or even a highly ordered physical system, then the errors are inevitable. The backrooms are theorized to be the spatial equivalent of corrupted data, environments that exist because something failed to resolve properly. So the idea is they're not actually supposed to be there. They've just come about and they exist. And
They're a glitch.
They're a glitch, yeah.
So someone's fricked up somewhere,
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
So that it suggests that it's an imperfect universe.
Well, it also suggests there's a creator
Yeah, who's not very good.
who's not very good.
He's crap at coding. Right, okay, cool.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah. Some like building IKEA furniture. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah, especially those boxes. I
Goddamn
can't
boxes.
believe you looked at them and you still bought them because the bottom. Sorry to go back to boxes, but no. But they look so. The problem was I knew that's why I went to because I thought they're too good to be true.
Yeah.
because they look nice. Green velvet, deep green velvet, lush forest green. And I thought this is a class above. But for I believe £9, there's got to be a catch. There has
Yeah.
to be. So I travelled. I probably spent £9 getting to Hammersmith.
Yeah.
Spent £9. I had looked and I got to the box, and then I just the bottom is going to fall out. The stuff's going to fall out of the it's because it's just the fold was bad.
You could already see the end before it began.
Yeah.
I hope you're writing this story down so it can eventually
I'll
either
tell
go
my
into
kid one day.
Yeah, one day go into your biography.
Your next show?
So, yeah.
Toussaint Douglas
You've done
boxing?
You've done a show about pigeons. No one thought that would happen. So you can make the leap to Kia green boxes. No problem. Imagine the crowd that's going to be obsessed with that.
Yeah,
That's a specialist.
Box
Yeah.
content, box tent.
Yeah,
IKEA is one of the few mega brands.
it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great
to-
hot dogs.
Great hot dogs.
Such reasonably priced. I don't know how they do it. $1.75 for hot dog. I mean, this is turned into one long IKEA advertorial. Hot dog and mash.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's a meal in itself.
I
You're
remember
getting
they were
all the food
50p.
groups. You're getting
I remember
mash,
the
Yeah.
hot dog and bun.
Did you ever go to IKEA just for the hot dog?
all the time.
Yeah.
and Marabou chocolate,
Yeah.
you know, the little buttons.
I used to. My friends used to drive to Croydon, which was about 5 miles from where we lived, just to go and get a hot dog. No other reason.
It's mad.
No, IKEA
They're,
was
they're
great.
good.
They are good. You can't argue with that value.
You can't argue that, buddy.
I still miss the IKEA at Tottenham.
No.
They took
Go to
it away.
Hammersmith. It's a
Is
whole
that
fucking,
now,
it's a whole
what is
fucking
that?
world.
Drum sheds.
Yeah, they just got rid of the big IKEA at Tottenham Hill. And I do not. That's that whole end of London just not
There's one
being
on
served.
Oxford Street right now, like
Yeah,
where
but
the Top Man used to be.
I don't want to go there though.
Okay, then.
I mean, I've got meatballs.
Obviously. So to say the backrooms are real is not necessarily to claim they exist behind a wall or beneath the floor. It is to suggest that reality is not as seamless as it appears, that there are zones of failure where meaning, memory, and place come apart. Whether understood as a psychological artifact or a cultural mirror or genuine structural abnormality, the backrooms theory endures because it articulates something that many people already suspect, that beneath the familiar surfaces of the world lies an endless corridor, humming softly, waiting to be found, but not to be fallen into. So, Toussaint, are backrooms real?
I think everything we've discussed here and your pages and pages of notes and you know what we've talked about IKEA especially, I think with the boxes, I think they are real. I think they are real. Yeah, I'm convinced now.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And I think that
this episode will definitely go into the back room pretty soonish, actually, to be fair. I think people start listening going, I think we're going to put this one in the back room, actually.
at least you got another mention of the boxes in there.
Yeah.
David, are backrooms real?
Marlene Dietrich cannot be wrong.
Okay.
So
Yes, they're real. They're real.
Thank you. Right. Good. I've got no fucking idea. I'll be honest with you on this one. And I
Can't end on that because I want to know
this.
what is Marlena Dietrich
See,
said about.
look, you're both straight.
He does this at the end of episodes.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
Look at my
He's an ally.
windbreaker. I'm on the. I'm
But you don't know who Marlena Dietrich is.
I
Her
know
most
who
famous, her most famous song was.
Cabaret.
No, that's
she's a
Marlena.
singer.
Yeah, she is, and she was great. But the Boys in the Back Room was one of her most famous songs.
Okay.
Tell the boy.
Sometimes
I
you're too
sent
cryptic.
no, people know. I sent that video to you. Oh my god,
Yeah,
you didn't
but
watch
that's
it.
to me, not to them.
But Boys in the Back Room, like Marlena Dietrich. Yeah, she's.
Toussaint, would you like to look into this camera, tell people where they can find you and follow you and all that sort of stuff?
Yes, I'll look into the hostage camera right now. My name's Toussaint Douglass. You can find me on Instagram, Toussaint_gram, or on a park bench in Lewisham feeding pigeons. And I will be at Soho Theatre at the end of March with my show, Accessible Pigeon Material. Thank you very much for having me.
That's all right. And keep us up to date with the boxes. Would you like a Shining joke to end the podcast? Because I couldn't find a backroom joke.
Absolutely would.
Okay. What do The Shining, Titanic, and The Sixth Sense all have in common?
Oh, I don't know.
I see dead people. Yeah?
It's technically solid.
That's the highlight of the show.
Yeah, it's technically sound.
That works.
It works as a
And that's
joke.
what you want in comedy. Someone going, technically, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Please like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. The more lovely subscribers we get, the more episodes we'll make. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok for regular updates and exclusive videos at BelieveConspiracyPod. We love you. Bye.